Have you ever wanted to go out to dinner to like a really nice restaurant and you're like, okay, what time should I go so that there's not a lot of crowds? And perhaps you've actually gone when it's been really busy, like rush hour. If you go when it's busy, it's like a long 15-minute to 45-minute wait outside the restaurant. They finally call you, you get seated, and then you're waiting forever just to get your drinks. And good luck if you order a steak, because then that's gonna be another hour because the kitchen is all backed up. By the time you've made it to where you should order dessert, you've been there for 3 hours, so you just decide not to, and you leave. However, if you go before the rush, you can get in, get seated, the kitchen is fresh, they're not backed up, you can order that steak, have it within 15 minutes, and actually order dessert and be out of there under an hour. So it's fantastic. But I want to tell you that this is an analogy really close to what it would be like if you were to wait to list your house until spring. Spring is when everybody's listing their house. You're gonna have so much competition. You're gonna have to really stand out. And then because of that competition, you're gonna probably have to decrease the price or throw in some sort of concession. And in the end, it's going to net you less. If you list now in the winter months when it's a little bit inconvenient, like going to dinner at 4 versus 5 or 6, you can actually stand out. The buyers are going to see you and they're serious. They are going to make a decision fast versus the people who are tire kicking or browsing in the spring, and you are going to net more because there won't be a ton of competition. Hi, I'm Jess with 411 Properties. I'm here today to break it down to you about why listing in the winter is actually a big seller strategy, and it's important that you hear this. Let's go. So homeowners think that winter is the worst time to sell, and it is so funny when I go to listings, they're like, well, we know that winter isn't the best time to sell. I don't know who started this. I think it's like the 20% down that you have to have on a house that's you don't have to have. And winter is literally like a strategy of listing your house because there is no competition, well, hardly any competition compared to spring and summer when everybody's listing their house. I think it's just basically because it's in everybody's head that it's not a great time, but really it's just inconvenient for a seller. It's inconvenient because you have to maybe put your dogs in, you have to get everything ready around the holidays. But other than that, it's so good for you as a seller because you can net more. You're actually going to be more visible to buyers because there's way less competition. So instead of having 15 houses in your price range, you're gonna have 5. So isn't it a lot easier to stand out amongst 5 homes versus 15 to 20? Absolutely. So winter buyers are way more serious than spring buyers because I'm gonna list the obvious. Who wants to go shopping or window browsing on homes when it's like -20 and wind blowing and snow? It's not fun. It's a huge hassle, but they're more serious because they either have like something in their life changing, they have a job relocation. Those all happen usually in like right after Christmas, the first of the year. They're going to have like a lease ending maybe, family growing. I mean, you really can't help that if you have an extra baby in the family or you have in-laws that moved in with you. They're needing to downsize for medical reasons. You could have somebody that needs it for financial reasons as well. And then just simply, you know, they want to lock in that rate as it's low right now and not changing. So you could just have your buyers that are ready to do something. Maybe they sold their house. So yeah, they got to find something by that close date of the house that is under contract. So that's super common. So basically, winter buyers are 10 times more serious than your summer buyers that are just out there looking for ideas in a home, thinking about maybe building in the future. So they just want to, you know, looky-loo around. Maybe they're a neighbor. So you don't have any of that in the winter, which is really great. They're motivated buyers. They're going to write a strong offer because they have to be in a house by a certain date usually. So here's a few stats from just nationally about why you should list now versus waiting. NAR is predicting at least a 14% increase of home sales in 2026, which that is huge. And then home prices are expected to rise moderately, not super huge like they did in the past. And then Fannie Mae and other forecasters are also stating that mortgage rates are gradually going to ease into the very low 6s and high 5s. Nothing's going to happen overnight. It's all going to be very gradual, very slow. So if you're listed now, the key thing is that you're positioned for when all of these buyers come back into the market and they're ready to purchase. We don't know when that will happen, but the tension on buyers that are like sitting and waiting and ready, that is so retracted, it's ready to spring like a rubber band. So as soon as those rates hit a certain point, you better be listed. By the time you realize that it's okay, this is time to be listed, it's gonna be too late. So take advantage of it and make sure you get your home on the market now. So every time the Fed reduces their rate, which they're predicted to do again here at the beginning of the year, every time they do that, affordability on homes opens up to a lot more buyers. And right now it's teetering on that edge where people could afford a home that they probably couldn't have afforded in the last year and a half. Because this time last year, rates were right around 7. So they're about 1% lower at this point. And then once you have that, you're gonna have all these people ready to buy, and they're gonna want a certain type of house, and they're probably going to pick something that is a little bit bigger and fits their needs because they've been waiting. They're probably in an apartment, an RV, living with family, who knows? So as soon as those rates come down, that's when buyers are gonna jump, and that's when sellers are going to be like, oh yeah, I need to list my house right now. So if you wait for that to happen, you and 10 other buyers with the exact same house are waiting for that to happen. So if you get listed now, you're gonna be seen ahead of time and not be listing with that whole bunch of other buyers that are just like you. So here in Gillette, they do sell fast. If a home is priced right and marketed well, I've had many homes, no matter what the economy is like or interest rates are like, they'll have multiple offers and go under contract very quickly. So in short, spring brings more browsers, like spring and summer brings all the browsers and tire kickers, and winter brings decision makers. They're out there to purchase a home and they're on a mission. Actually, John and I were just discussing this the other day because I was like, oh, it's snowing. And when we get those first few little, smacklings of snow, it kind of can make the lawns look weird, and I don't like that. But when we get like a good blanket of snow, it can look magical on a new listing, especially if people take care of their driveways and shovel it, and then you have the lights from inside. By the time you get out of a car to show people the house, it is just beaming and looks so warm and inviting. And then if we step in and you have it prepared right, oh my gosh, it's just like, usually it just envelopes and makes the buyer want it because it's so warm and inviting, and that aura has hit them right when they walk in the door. I think that winter homes, you can actually market to have more emotion on buyers. So I absolutely love it. So winter is amazing because most people are inside. And what do you do when you're inside on the couch? You're on your phone. And we push all of our listings very, very hard on multiple platforms to be right in front of your face. Our database alone is like 23,000 people that we send out stuff to weekly. And then our hit for all of our viewers on our multiple platforms is above 3 million. So that is so many people that we are pushing your listing in front of. And that's what is going to make you the most bang for your buck and the most net value on your home sale. The biggest risk for a seller, if you're gonna wait until spring or summer to list your home, is hands down competition, plain and simple. If you like to compete and you wanna have 20 to 30 other homes that are gonna be exactly like yours, good luck. If you're waiting, that's what you're gonna be up against. And when you're up against that many choices, buyers are going to either have you negotiate that price down because they're gonna just go across the street and get something else. You don't have very much leverage when you have that many options for a buyer to pick from, and price cuts are just way more common. I can even attest to that just this last fall when we started having more and more homes come on the market. Homes that were listed a little bit earlier than the ones that just came on were having to cut their prices down to stay competitive with the new listings. We don't want to do that. If you list in the winter, you're going to be able to list at a right price and stay at that price. So if you're thinking about listing in the next couple months, you need to have me come see your house. Text me, call me, email me. All of my details are below in the caption. Let's set up a time for me to come to your house, tell you what to do, what not to do, what could save you some money, and what could get you the most for your house. Let's make a personal plan for you to get your home shot with photography, video, so that we can roll it out, hit everybody that is shopping right now for a home, and you can make the most on your home. If there's a certain date you're working around, just let me know. We can accommodate a lot of different situations. I want to get you to your next step, whether that is a bigger home, you're moving to a different state, or you just decided you want to downsize. So many different options, and I am here for all of it. So just remember, today your home will stand out. In spring, not so much. You're going to be fighting for attention. I am Jessica LaCour with 411 Properties. I hope that you contact me soon so that I can come see your house and we can get it listed. Please leave me a comment, like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.